Hi there, everybody. Oopla Bobby Hook do, baby. Ichi. This is the Bobs. And today we're playing, well, you'll see what we're going to do in a minute. But that's your clue, but that's not him. All right. This is Towns Van Zandt.
There's no stronger wind than the one that blows down a lonesome railroad line. No prettier sight than looking back on a town you left behind. But there's nothing that's as real as the love that's in my mind. Close your eyes, I'll be here in the morning. Close your eyes, I'll be here for a while. There's lots of things along the road I'd surely like to see. I like to lean into the wind and tell myself I'm free. But your softest whispers louder than the highway's call to me. Close your eyes, I'll be here in the morning. Close your eyes, I'll be here for a while. All the mountains and the rivers and the valleys can't compare with your blue dancing, flashing eyes, your yellow shining hair. I could never hit the open road and leave you lying there. Close your eyes, I'll be here in the morning. Close your eyes, I'll be here for a while. Now lay your head back easy, love, close your crying eyes. I'll be laying here beside you when the sun comes on the rise. I'll stay as long as the cuckoo wails and the lonesome blue jay flies. Close your eyes, I'll be here in the morning. Close your eyes, I'll be here for a while. Close your eyes, I'll be here in the morning. Close your eyes, I'll be here for a while.
Marvellous. Absolutely marvellous. So this is the beauty. This is the beauty of. Let's bring you closer to me. And I'll put this underneath so I can actually transport the microphone without making any noise via the microphone. So if I put that there and put the lyric sheet. Now what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, stop piano hill. Be da ni mynd I wneud hogia. Iawn? Be da ni mynd I wneud yw... Cael gwared o hwnna I ddechrau. Be ni'n mynd I wneud yw... Cael gwared o hwnna'n gyntaf. Be ni'n mynd I wneud yw cymharu Stephen Duffy a Towns Van Zandt. O'n I ddim yn mynd I wneud hwnna. O'n i'n mynd I wneud rhywbeth holl wahanol. Dwi wedi penderfynu ar ôl gwasgu'r botwm. I've decided after pressing the button, that's what we're going to do. We're going to compare Stephen Duffy and Towns Van Zandt. Now, one I know very well, and the other covered a Towns Van Zandt song, and I thought to myself at the time, 4 years ago approximately, I thought to myself, why is he covering a song by a member of Lynyrd Skynyrd? Because I thought he was a member of Lynyrd Skynyrd, but we won't go there. I don't think he is. He's a country troubadour who passed away. Now, for the sake of the song, his name of the album, that was side 2, and it was called I'll Be There in the Morning. And it's taught me again, as I was saying yesterday, brevity and hooks. In fact, that's what we'll call my studio visit on Saturday. Brevity and hooks, or I could call it something else, because I've decided once I start planning something, I lose its soul. It loses its soul. Once it comes out spontaneously, there's a chance it will learn to fly on its own. I have no mechanisms for it. If I plan mechanisms for it, you know what I'm going to do, don't you? I'm going to fail. So I'm just going to let them fly on a breeze, or maybe a storm. We shall see. And I'm looking forward to it. And what I'm appreciating now, it's not all about me. It's about Stephen Duffy on this video. Let's listen to, well, we've got, we know Stephen Duffy, okay? He's got albums, right? But I bought the singles, so I'm accustomed to the B-sides, which will now appear on re-releases and remasters, but I've got them already. So I don't know whether we should listen. No, we won't listen to Duff. What we're going to do, we're going to listen to the remasters. Oh, Weisbach. Shall I play you Mao Badge? Or shall I play you In the Evening of Her Day? I'll play you In the Evening of Her Day. We've got to do it. It's worthy. It's Mao Badge is just as good, if not better. But we shall see. This is In the Evening of the Day, B-side of 17, which came out in 1980, 1989. Weisbach, was it really? I can't see. I need specs. I need new specs. I've got to go and get some new specs. Okay, the money. Here we go. Is this the right one? No, this is the record. That's Towns, and this is Stephen. Let's do that together. This is Towns, and this is Stephen. Towns and Stephen. Zandt Duffy. So this is Duffy, and we're going for random. So let's go for random. And it is. It's, yes. Oh, wonderful. That's the one we wanted, and that's the one we get.
Getting high every night till I couldn't see the sunshine and the light. Start again, draw some fire to fight the built-in obsolescence of desire.
And cue orchestra.
When love's the only thing it hurts to lose.
Where's the orchestra?
In the evening of her day, Ophelia comes to court me. Not that I could stay away. The kisses seem to haunt me. It's an accident of birth that had me born a loser, hanging like a bird of prey, but fated not to capture tender turns.
Thank you, orchestra.
Sleepless nights, I walked the streets. It was kind of like a movie, but not as deep. What might have been accident of birth that had me born a loser, hanging like a bird of prey, never seems to capture tender touch. So high from the Ferris wheel, and all the fairground lights were flickering sweet delight. So tell me why is it that I feel I tripped, stumbled, slipped and fell, left drowning in the wishing well. In the evening of the day, Ophelia came to court me, not that I could stay away. Her kisses seemed to haunt me. It's an accident of birth that had me born a loser, hanging like a bird of prey, fated not to capture tender touch that I need tonight.
The Welsh word for sometimes is ambell waith. 2 words. Sometimes, ambell waith. Mae'r gan yna yn swnio'n amherffaith. Mae e mor frai, mae e'n methu. Sometimes it's so fragile and Stephen's voice is so on the borderline. It fails sometimes. But tonight, now, in the last 5 minutes, it's outdone itself. That was just blissful, and I was on the verge of getting emotional because this guy was the soundtrack to my failures. You got Needle Mythology here, and there's a song called 23, which you've got to hear. He references it in the interviews with Pete Perfides, or whatever his name is, who's re-releasing the CD Looking for a Day in the Night next month on album. I don't know whether I'll get it because I've got them already, but, you know, I'm not that type of guy to get everything because I'm not a collector. So that was called In the Evening of Her Day, and it's on the album I Love My Friends, but not the original version. It was on the remastered Pete Perfides version, or whatever his name is. So we're going to return now to the album by Townes Van Zandt, which is called For the Sake of the Song. And that's an apt title for this video, isn't it? I mean, we're studying what makes songs so gripping and so emotionally endearing and so debilitating. They can tear you apart, can't they? They can absolutely destroy you. They can turn you into a soulful desperado. where you begin to succumb to the melancholy, and in the end that becomes your drug. So I'm free of that now, but I want to explore this guy's music. So we're going to listen to Sad Cinderella. I have never heard it before, and this is what I'm doing. I'm trying to listen to songs and make videos at the same time, making it valid, creative, and enjoyment.
I'll be here in the morning. Close your eyes, I'll be here for a while.
That was the first song, which was beautiful. Oh, boy, beautifully melodic.
When the bandits have stolen your jewelry and gone, and your crippled young gypsy, he's grown tall and strong, and your dead misconceptions have proven you wrong. Well then, princess, where you planning to turn to when your magazine memory has spun you around, and you realize your lovers were just painted clowns, and outside your window you start hearing sounds where they're building a cross for to burn you.
Oh no, what have I done? Oh no, I pressed the wrong button. Hold on, we'll get it back. What are we on? That one.
Will you stop and decide that it's over? When your teardrops go sour and no longer fall, the splash cross that lives down your hall and spends all her nights with an ear to your wall. Well, then what will you have you can offer when the fire dancers finish and leave you alone with nothing but embers and sacks full of stone that hang round your neck, slicing through to the bone? Will there still be a place for your laughter when all your bright scarlet turns slowly to blue? Will you stop and decide that it's over as your shattered illusions come a-tumbling home, and all of the butchers you nourished have grown, and they're suddenly able to leave you alone, and they run like slaves that are set free when your questions are answered and your pleading is done, and your mind starts a-screaming that you ain't the one that once dwelled within you. Will you turn, will you run? Or princess, will you come home and get me? When all your bright scarlet turns slowly to blue, will you stop and decide that it's over? When all
having a treat, and we were having a feast. Gwledd, as the stereotypical description in Welsh goes. Rydyn ni'n cael gwledd heno. We're having a feast tonight. I mean, if you told me 40 years ago that I'd be listening to Johnny Cash and Peters and Lee, I'd have said, no way, I'll still be listening to Van Halen and Aerosmith. Because this music for old people? I think nowadays people are more willing to, from a young age, to listen to a breadth, a wider variety of genres, but I don't like that word, genre, because a song like that, it is of several genres, isn't it? It transcends description, because there was something in the militaristic rhythm, the dums, that's what I'll call it, the dums. It was bordering on, it was almost a budgie gallop, wasn't it? It was almost, there was almost a pulse there. Not to mention Pink Floyd, of course, because we don't want to mention Pink Floyd. I have a prejudice against post-Waters, Roger Waters, Pink Floyd, but that's another story. So let's get back to there's no lyrics in this, so what I'm going to read now, I'm going to teach myself, and you can share as well. I'll share it with you. In 100 years, the coffee house may be only a memory old men tell their grandchildren about. But whenever folk singers gather in the year 2068, a few gifted songwriters of this century will continue to live. Perhaps the 21st century musicians will sit and talk about the troubled times of Bob Dylan, the heartaches of Hank Williams and Don Gibson, the imagination of Paul McCartney and John Lennon. These were the men that opened doors. John Townes Van Zandt was one that walked through. I think that's very, very perceptive. Now then, what does Stephen Duffy do? Getting back to the video, we're going to try and compare both here now. Does Stephen Duffy walk through? You could say that Stephen Duffy, as a pop star, achieved what he wanted to do. He became famous as a teeny pop star. We won't talk about that now, because there's several videos for Stephen Duffy to be discussed. What did Stephen Duffy do? He became a folk troubadour when grunge was at its the epicenter of grunge. What did Stephen Duffy do? Release a prog rock album. And then, of course, he was living in the shadows of the Lilac Time, his folk band, which had disintegrated. So there was no room for him. He'd walked through pop doors, he'd walked through folk doors, and he'd walked through a prog classical album. And as he walked through, he'd fallen a great height because there was no foundation there for him. Nobody was interested. So he had to pick himself up. So the songs that I want to play you are him picking himself up. In 1980, what year was it? 1992, was it? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to fail you now. Or was it? I don't know. I need a light. Right, it was in 1999. In 1999, Stephen Duffy picked himself up. And he recorded an album called, what do you call it? We were looking for a day in the night. And this art CD included singles and the B-sides, you're going to hear them now because they're going to be on the remastered LP. So this one is called, we'll put the random button on for a bit of fun, and it's not that one. I was disappointed in no, not that this single is beautiful, so we won't play it because you can hear that when you buy the album. This is this hard for her? That's marvellous. We're having an opportunity now. That's the Lilac Time and a song called Raccoon. So you're getting a bonus here because that's an unreleased instrumental. It'll probably be on the remaster. It's by the Lilac Times, Stephen Duffy and his brother Nick Duffy, and who were the other members? Claire Worrell wasn't a member at the time. I think it was just Nick and Stephen and possibly one other. Another Duffy who wasn't related to Duffy. Marvin or Martin. Anyway, we're going to hear Hard for Her in a minute, but we're going back to Townes now because I want to hear the Townes. So what you get with Lilac Time instrumentals is extended folk jams with Eastern overtones. Would you agree? The Velvet Voices is the next song by Townes Van Zandt.
We're stopping to decide that it's over.
This one's called The Velvet Voices. It's the last one by Townes Van Zandt we're going to hear tonight.
I'll play upon my violin until the mountains ring of lonely laughter blindly thrown across an endless arc string, and the skies are set to dance into the silent symphony, and the velvet voices all shall join the singing. The hall is filled every corner by a tinkling hint of chime, a melody careens and crumbles, leaving just a trace behind, a rhythm faltering faintly fails, the silver on its wings, and the velvet voices all shall join the singing. The cymbals flash, the drums they crash, the trumpets rise to song, a brass baton plucks bits of diamond from a glittering wall of almost dawn. The crystal chords, they slash the wind in humble majesty, and the velvet voices all shall join the singing.
Now let me get you closer now, right? Because we need to decipher this. Not decipher, but just express our appreciation of it. Because how anthemic, and again, you've got that mellotron, which was a real choir. So there's so many progressive music elements in this song, isn't there? I'm so pleased I've heard that. And it does remind you of the Lilac Time. It reminds you of Stephen Duffy at their best. Imagine that song, the instrumental Raccoon that you've heard, with vocals. So I want you to all to explore the Lilac Time discography, but I don't think you'll get anything better by the Lilac Time unless we're talking about the Nursery Walls or Salvation Song. or there's lots of others. There's a song on this one, the B-side, The World Records Her Every Thought. I want you to listen to it, please. You can't hear Hard for Her because it's just too brilliant. And there's another one called Holding Hands with Grace, which was a B-side. You can't hear those. But I just want to say, Townes Van Zandt, the man, he'll be remembered. They'll talk about what he was thinking while his footsteps ran in his ears. And as he walked down the empty winter Denver streets, what he learnt in that basement by lending a compassionate ear to a man who was more than just a janitor. What he heard in those songs ringing off the black walls of back rooms in Austin and Oklahoma City. What he got out of swapping stories in a shack outside of Houston with an old man who has become a legend to blues lovers all over the world. Townes Van Zandt, the man, a compulsive reader, always seeking knowledge, out of self-defense, if for no other reason. For in order to survive, he must understand himself and those around him. Now, that is so perceptive. Stephen Duffy reads a lot. I don't read a lot. A lot of fiction, no. I studied Welsh as a teenager because I felt that I had to keep my Welsh. So I neglected English literature, unfortunately. But there we are. We've got plenty of regrets and there's no point dwelling on them. So we're going to listen now to The World Records Her Every Thought. It's under another titles on another release. So we'll just listen to this, and because I haven't heard it in a while. It's not absolutely amazing, but you can hear it for yourself now. Have I put it in? We'll press random just for a bit of fun. Come on, work. Have I put it in? Yes, I put it in. Why isn't it working? Random. There, I'm pressing random now. And yes, number 4, that's the one we've got. Just start straight away.
The world records her every thought and broadcasts them from trees. Strapped in the seat of his company's car, his story, his career. The little else he has is dead, drunk and beaten down. How can a life as narrow as his tie her up in a wedding gown? She is all colour, running through the wood, the purest glamour and the common good. So quickly whispered by a cloud, the purest sister, too good to be allowed. Taken from the ranks of virgins, prepared to be abused by years of propaganda, foundation for the bruised. How she thought she could benefit from following this course remained unanswered. Had her trial, her courtship, her divorce. She is all colour, running through the wood, the purest glamour and the common good. So quickly whispered by a cloud, the purest sister, too good to be allowed. In the glove compartment with the tickets and cassettes, she leaves his keys and a his regrets. But in another version that matches her disgust, she takes a small revolver and leaves a bullet in his guts. She is all colour, running through the wood, the purest glamour and the common good, so quickly whispered by a cloud, the purest sister, too good to be allowed.
So, there we are. It was called She Is All Colour on another release. But the operatic business here, albeit synthetic and piano and slightly digital, it does remind you of the embellishments that we heard with Townes Van Zandt. So we're going to stop it now because I don't want to go over 45 minutes. So just remember the names, the Lilac Time, Stephen Duffy and Townes Van Zandt, and we'll explore more. I've got a best of CD of Townes Van Zandt as well. But this album has its own specific ambience. It's his first album, I think, and we'll read the sleeve notes next time. So thank you very much for listening. Hope you've enjoyed it. We'll play more of these artists in the future. I've almost finished now. That was really DJ professional, wasn't it, over that? Well done, Bobsy. Right. Needle Mythology. And that's the name of the song that you've just heard the start of, and it's the name of the album, the label that's re-releasing Looking for a Day in the Night next month. And Lilac Time also have a live album out next month, and I don't know whether we'll get that, but there's a live version of Looking for a Day in the Night on this CD, and we'll hear that next time. Diolch yn fawr. Goodbye.